play you would see on this map?
Well, both teams are going to want the railgun area, and with that, a couple of yellows, maybe if they can get onto it, but mainly it's just going to be the railgun, the upper yellow, and the mega health. The other team are going to try and get rail. If they can't get it, then they're going to have to settle with the red armor. But not a big deal, just very important you don't give away too many frags, because you're going to need all the armor you can get when it comes to quad attack time, because this area is very hard to attack without just sacrificing yourself to pick it up.
So here we go.
3, 2, 1, fight.
And we're live with Faz. He gets the red armor spawn this time. One of the better spawns on the map, not pressured at all. Oh, will he get to a rocket as well? And Blind's going to go down surely. Great rockets actually in the end by Faz. Perfect start.
Yeah, and it's almost quad moving time already. Faz will be aware of that. Should be moving there shortly. No time to wait for the yellows. They really need to be in position to block off these bounce pads and upper entrances. You can see Faz maybe a bit too over aggressive here. I don't know why he needed to drop down onto the 9-tops. Look at this now, he picks up 2 frags, maybe even 3 on the spawner. So I wouldn't even drop down here. He's got the quad could spawn anytime. Again, just a reckless decision.
Well, I think he was denying the rail, and actually this might work out really well because Reason won't have a railgun to defend this quad. Well, it was picked and it was instantly taken out. So there's no quad running around the map now. aCtion in the lead by 4 frags already. And they're in control of what you would call the primary area, the bridge.
Pushing out to red armor as well. Unfortunately, Faz was able to pick up the flag
good shotgun.
Right idea by aCtion.
Another good shotgun from Faz. Teams are tired. Reason just taking the lead, and Faz with the mega health now, moving through the lower corridor, up the bounce pad onto the bridge. Reason are in control of the bridge and quad now. And Faz has returned for this red armor. He knew the time. Good play from Faz, and look, he's absolutely stacked. 130,
yeah, I mean,
100.
Quad position should be fairly easy to hold now for Reason Gaming. It's all about what aCtion can do to prevent Reason running them over the map. See, Noctis picked up a frag onto FRG, and judging by the triangles, has been pushed out a little bit. So
Just going to cycle around. Noctis doesn't actually have anything to work with. We're going to switch. Ziv with the rail, hasn't hit a shot yet.
That's what I mean.
He's got a full ammo clip.
You can't take a rail from Ziv there. That's the sort of rails you don't want to take when you're holding red armor. And they're very easy to. We see Sturmy play that position very well yesterday.
This is a good example of the way aCtion play, very tight-knit as a team. They're not going to just give frags away, and that's very important against the kind of players you're fighting in Reason. 35 seconds till the next quad. We'll have to see how aCtion decide to attack this, whether they just go for a last-second steal. Following Blind in the lower basement, takes a rail. He's trying to defend with this LG, takes another rail to the chest, just to escape, but no, Noctis takes him out. Good railing from Noctis, 80% at the moment. Misses out on the mega, but 15 seconds till the quad. They want to start setting that up. Now the danger points at quad are obviously the doorways, but it's got to be that bounce pad. A last-ditch rush attack from the bounce pad. Multiple players can be difficult to defend against. But this bridge attack's going really well. In fact, there's a lot of pressure on top of that quad. Deuce took a fair bit of damage, lost his mega health, but he has escaped. And he's going to take the next mega health. So now he becomes a real threat. Rail, quad, shotgun, plasma, moving through towards the red army. He would have to wait 10 seconds. Let's see if he decides to. No. Going to drop down on top of aCtion, potentially in the lowest basement. Yeah, the yellow, the upper yellow. It's often a good spot to fade back into against a quad. If it doesn't immediately take that yellow route, then usually the quad's gone all the way to the other side of the map, so you can pretty much be safe that the quad's not going to find you at that upper yellow.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about that quad run is he knew exactly where his team was. They held bridge perfectly, so Noctis was able to just end his run wherever he wanted because he had an easy route back in. Great play by the entire Reason Gaming team.
So you see Deuce with the NVC config hitting 75% rail there. Some nice shots as well. These jump shots are important to hit if your opponent does hold the bridge, but it doesn't look like a locked bridge there from aCtion, giving away the railgun. Blind goes down. It looks like he's on duty to take the mega. We've seen Deuce, of course, take the last few megas. And he takes another. slow game in terms of frags. Only a 6 frag difference, and this is the key to aCtion's game plan. Don't let Reason push out and run away with it. Keep grouped together and make it very damaging for Reason to attack their positions, because you'd have to argue, obviously, Reason's got the big name players.
Yeah, for sure, but they've done a very good job of not losing too many frags. Only 9 behind at the moment. Most of those gone on this quad attack. Perhaps could have been a little bit more coordinated. I've seen players
Line moving in.
One-on-one.
There's Knight. He might grab the quad. He does right in front of Deuce, but Deuce takes him out with the rail. Deuce essentially sacrificed the quad there.
The thing is, though, I didn't see too many Reason Gaming players go down, and also quite a few of the aCtion players. So this is where it's going to become increasingly more difficult now for aCtion. We can see 3 of the yellow triangles over by red armor. So we're obviously running the map at the moment, and aCtion need to find a way back in.
So 5 minutes played, and if you play a tight game like aCtion are, then you need to win the power-ups, because that's where you make your frag advantage. Unfortunately for them, they haven't really got any power-ups yet, just a grab and a death instantly, but they'll have to start improving on that soon. Still following Deuce, but, well, nice rocket kill. Again, another kill with someone frag. Gets an LG out of that deal as well.
Deuce had a great start so far. I haven't seen him do anything wrong, really.
Almost gets caught out there by the rockets. Eventually the machine gun takes him down, but we're back on the Reason player's point of view. It's Faz this time.
Yeah, great combination there. Faz coming in to support.
Oh, brilliant plasma from Knight. But Noctis manages to down him with the shaft. And Noctis, with Reason, now in control of the bridge. That rail. The bridge area doesn't really have anything on it itself, just access to that railgun. The plasma, of course, in the quad area. A bit of health with the 25s and obviously the 50 next to the railgun. So that's not necessarily why you would hold this area. It's more about positioning. You've got a good position on quad. You can move out from that upper area to the red armor and do serious damage, and you can drop down perfectly for the mega health time. And it looks like they don't have a time. aCtion just wandering into this quad room in 2. Seemed a very risky maneuver, and yeah, they went down for their troubles, but it is only 10 seconds till quad, so they did need to make some kind of push. It's just only 2 at a time. That's
too early.
Very risky.
That bounce pad jump was way too early. He landed on the spot. Had it been quad time, he would have got it back.
Well, Knight's dived in up the bounce pad and stolen the quad. He's actually got full health still. Rocket launcher, rail, now with a plasma. And moving through to the midfield. Snatched at his rail a little bit there. Could have actually been taken out from behind, but does survive. Teammates one next to him, so it's not really going positively so far this quad run. Only 1 frag, but if he can take over this red armor area, Deuce goes down, and he's got a shaft, but quad's run out. At least he does take over the red armor area, so aCtion have got a map item advantage. So NVC, if we were going to say the primary location is the quad area and the bridge.
Well, it doesn't really matter that, because aCtion are doing a fantastic job with red armor. They're not letting Reason overrun them and actually picking up a few frags here, even onto Faz, stealing another LG away from them, and that's what it's going to help, especially when it comes to quad time. Less LGs, because coming up that bounce pad, you're not going to get knocked back, and aCtion can continue to just steal the quad away. Yeah,
I think it is a viable tactic to hold on to the yellow armor side of the map. You've got the lower yellow in the water en route to the LG, maybe if you want to push around to the mega health. And then you've got the upper yellow, which is closer to the quad area, but it is contestable. And it's the kind of area you send one person to, each team does, and they duke it out until one of them comes out on top.
But I'm interested to see this next quad, because we've seen the last 2, aCtion doing a 2-and-2 split almost, but they've been so delayed that they've actually been quite fortunate to get hold of the quad damage, and I think it's going to take a push of at least 3 people or more to actually get hold of this room. And nice LG, it just seems to be locking onto their opponents at the moment.
Going out the bounce pad. That was too early for a last-second grab, but it could have been good for position. And, well, Noctis saves the day pretty much there. Takes the quad, hoards the weapons, and now he's going to move out, try and extend this frag lead Reason have built up. It's not a massive lead, though, still. 13 frag difference.
Yeah, but Noctis is pretty tanked at the moment. if you can find some players, I would suggest going lower yellow maybe, or upper rocket launcher, given the locations of all the players on the map. But there's Brand, and I'm sure someone's by LG as well, or Lager maybe. Going to find two in this bounce pad.
Heavy shotguns from Noctis. Doesn't get that second frag in a row, but his teammate does, and Reason retain control of the major items like the railgun, which Noctis rewards himself with. It's a very slow moving game so far. As I said though, it's going to be so important if aCtion are going to play like this, close frags, and indeed Reason as well, that they need to take the power-ups and then get some good runs, get the frags on the board.
Well, the way it's looking like at the moment, they're not able to push in as a unit, and when they do come up the bounce pad, they are doing it way too early. That, you know, they just get killed, and they have no time to run back into the room. You either need to push in a hell of a lot earlier, or you push in straight on the spawn, or you push in with 4 7 seconds before. Simple as that.
Switched round to Ziv. Is he the guy trying to time this upper yellow? He comes up against 2 aCtion players, did a heavy damage rocket, but did miss out on the yellow. We've got 20 seconds till quad. Of course, now Ziv's spotted them. They should know that there's at least 2 probably going to attack from those upper doorways. There's 1 coming through now. That's to back off to the upper yellow. Bounce pad attack from Nightops. Took so much damage though. That rail as he instantly came up, and Ziv finished him off with the sharp. But Ziv's lost all his stack for this quad. It's only 3 seconds away, and he won't want to pick it now, but he's going to be the only one in position at the moment. So he does take it. He's vulnerable now. If they attacked him quickly, he would go down. Mega is up. It's being held out for him. Oh. Well, just before he got there, a teammate took it. They obviously didn't quite communicate well enough that he would actually turn up for it. Doesn't matter. Lower yellow, health up. Oh my god, only 5 health left.
I've seen that from aCtion before, you know, grouping up in 2s, especially either by that middle bounce pad leading to quad, and there again, just able to do a lot of damage to the quad. It just seemed like they're playing in 2s. That's what I can gather from aCtion at the moment.
Well, they go all 4 in the same location at the moment, but yeah, I mean, that's a sign of good teamwork, really, playing minimum in 2s.
Oh, you can see actually, yeah, I was right. FRG and
Knight.
And
this middle room over the lower yellow, I think, is their main focus, but they're taking damage from 3 locations there, from below and the 2 upper doorways. And they're going to really pay the price. Noctis, 5th impressive. He's hitting 51% rail. And he's been a key man recently in the Reason Gaming performances. See if he can step it up on LAN as well. There's that lower yellow, Noctis timing it perfectly. And 20 seconds before quad. This is where both teams want to be trying to secure the area. Obviously Reason are there at the moment. Looks like, wow, nice rail from Knight. Top.
Yeah, eliminate quite a lot of that armor. This is going to leave this quad quite open in congestion. I don't think Noctis is going to be able to take it. Knight only has 2 HP. Instead, he's looking towards the Mega maybe to get that before the quad, but it's up straight after it. And it's going to look like a Reason quad, but I have a feeling they're all weak. No! In comes FRG.
Takes it, yeah.
Deuce, though, able to shut him down instantly. And now let's see what Deuce can do.
Well, the 2 quads they've got, Deuce has taken out straight away. And that's the problem. aCtion need those quads to bring the frags back, because in general gameplay they're losing out to Reason. It's not a massive difference in frags that Reason are building over them, but well, of course, also Reason have built their frag advantage on the quads they've had.
Well, I mean, 25 frag difference. We've hit the 12-minute mark that I like ever so much. And it's now that they're going to have to switch it up, because if it carries on the way it is, and quads just keep going down, or Reason Gaming go on the runs, aCtion are not going to stand much of a chance, unfortunately. So it's all on them to make changes and make them now.
So still following Deuce. No armor to his name. Red armor is up, and it looked like there was an attack going on the area. Going to switch around Knight. Looking pretty juicy there. 160 with the shaft, with the rocket. Grenades as a backup weapon. just moving around. They definitely focus on timing that LG, making sure they're getting all those lightning guns.
That's what's making their quad attack so successful as well. And this is not to discredit them by saying they're not getting it or not going on runs, because attacking into quad against Reason Gaming is of course never going to be easy. So it is impressive stuff here from aCtion as we watch them push towards now the quad.
Right, they need a good attack this time.
Or blind with 2.
Because they only have 3 quads left to bring this gap back. It's possible, but they need to take this quad and start bringing it back now. You get a lot of frags on the quad attack, of course. It's good shaft work from Knight. Moving in, should take out Noctis as well. He's taking a lot of machine gun damage, down to 34 health.
Very, very well played here by aCtion. The problem is, most of Reason Gaming should have spawns now to come back in. I just hope that aCtion are going to have enough HP to defend this off. And in comes Noctis. Nightop's going to have to finish him off, and as he picks up the quad, well played to Noctis. But
Noctis was a little bit late on that drop. I mean, aCtion really should have got the quad. They just delayed the pickup slightly, trying to decide who should take it, and Noctis dived in there. Massive explosion. I'm not really sure what happened. Seemed like 3 players seemed to blow each other up.
But that's the thing, you know, the difference between aCtion's attack there and earlier on was that there was enough time for Reason Gaming to push back in after they died, whereas as soon as aCtion died, there wasn't. So again, it was a 2-2 split, and quite a lot of players lost a lot of health on the way in. But it's working, you know. Maybe it's just a case of they need to be a little bit more lucky.
You make your own luck in Quake in VC.
Not always.
Not if something goes wrong to you, eh?
Well, there's always luck.
Oh, Nightop takes a rail and a pummel, and he's lost all his armor. Just left with the shaft, going to cycle round. Have a look what's going on Deuce's pop again.
Well, you know, it's interesting that Reason Gaming aren't trying to push onto red armor. They obviously know that aCtion is strong there, and they're wary of them.
I think we've seen this recently with Reason. They're very cautious in their playstyle compared to perhaps their original gameplay when they first formed last season, I think that was. And a lot of teams are more aggressive generally, such as Serious Gaming and Colwyn at that higher level. But we saw Serious Gaming yesterday played very cautious themselves, so it's just mutual respect for the teams they're playing, that they don't want to risk anything. Just make sure they get the win on the board. But maybe when we get to the final, eh?
Yeah, we've got a 26 frag differences. It looks like Reason Gaming is going to take this quad.
There's Noctis with the quad, sorry about that. Easy LG frag, and the red aCtion fade away into the background again. Red armor has just been taken on the quad pickup. And now he finds them in this lower area. Yellow up, perfect timing for him as well. Nightop's dispatched. Well, I think they've been rumbled. Their hiding spot for the quads. Noctis tried to return for that next red. Frag must have picked it up. Did so much damage to Noctis, it was so easy for Blind just to tap fire him down. So there's 1 quad remaining. The score difference is too large now to bring it back.
It's all about eliminating as much of that difference as possible. So if it does go to a 3rd map and aCtion do win the 2nd map, they're going to have a better chance of getting the map they want. But I don't know, is this aCtion's map choice?
I would, it could be either teams. I would imagine it's Reasons.
Well, aCtion definitely playing very well, so they have a lot to go into the 2nd map with, that's for sure.
That's fine, that's good rail. I think the key aspect of this map is really the quad play. That's been the difference between the teams. Reason have had quite a few quad runs. aCtion, I think they had 1. Otherwise they got a couple, but they died instantly.
They've got into quad successfully every time. We'll see what happens this, well, apart from the last, but we'll see what happens this time. And whether they're able to do something a little bit better. But again, they're pushing in 1 by 1. There's 2 players here now, but again, you know, able to focus 1 at a time, and each of them will go down. So depending on the map,
Squadron.
this 2-2 split could work a lot better, but here on...
Whoa,
deep
Noctis just
inside-
missing out on that mega.
Yeah, here
Really
on
got a
deep-
nice kill out of it.
Here on deep inside, I don't think that a 2-2 split will win you far. I think that's the problem.
Well, I think they just need
delayed.
to. They needed really to attack earlier as a 4. They did that, I think, on one occasion. Won the power up.
Yeah, well, if they're gonna,
But that was blown up instantly.
Yeah,
that
they
one.
do kind of need to give themselves a chance to attack in twice. So once with your stack and a second time after respawn, that could well work.
I mean, it's a relatively comfortable victory in terms of frag margin for a reason, but watching the game, it really didn't feel that way. It does feel a little bit like Reason are just playing cautiously, and maybe action, just things, as you say, didn't really go their way on the power-up attacks.
Well, we've seen good play by action on the red armor. The LGs were all pretty strong. They hit the rails when they had them. Not often, but... And
We saw Deuce beasting with the rail, 14 impressives, in fact, in the end. Only Nightops with any impressives. Shows the lack of rails that action had there.
yeah, I just think they were not comfortable playing them. And when you're not comfortable playing a team, you're not quite sure on how well they're going to perform. You don't go aggressive. I think later on in the tournament they may take certain risks, but for now,
Vote now.
I'm going to be quite happy with just playing steady. It is the first game of the day, of course. But CPM 4 we've moved on to. This was the map that in the ESL pre-summer cups, Reason Gaming eliminated all the way until the more difficult games, and then decided to randomly pick it and lost it against some good teams. So it was sort of like a secret weapon in their favour, which actually went completely the opposite way. So interesting to see how this game's going to go. We're fixing, apparently.
Okay, back in game. Noctis, problem with the audio there. They fixed that Google Mail sound effect. Yay. Getting a bit busy around here, isn't it, NVC? More people milling around.
Just people waking up.
A bit more of an atmosphere, especially with the CS going on next to us. You get a lot of spectators standing behind the players. So definitely builds a bit more of an atmosphere. You don't really get that many people watching the Quake players, in all honesty, just people strolling past, have a quick look. But don't tend to spend too long. I guess they don't really know who the players are, as well as the CS fans know their players.
Yeah, I mean, everyone likes watching Quake, but mostly in small doses for some of these players that are from other games.
I think it's got a kind of universal appeal, but not necessarily is an obsessive attraction for a lot of people like us. It's just something that, yeah, it looks alright, I'll watch it for 5 minutes, then I'll walk off and watch my game.
Well, yeah, you know, I see Quake Live as filler content. Big StarCraft 2 tournament. I have a Quake Live one as well. Play the games on the stream, but, you know, between matches and so forth, only 10 minutes to duel, so on. And obviously TDM's a little bit longer, but...
I mean, interestingly, if we look at this event, most of the people here aren't even really interested in these esports games, are they? They seem to be here for the BYOC. As
Well,
we said, the age range is very young.
You have just sat
Surprising.
here behind your computer. I mean, I've been over to the League of Legends place, and I don't know, there's many people. They have 180,000 people on the stream or something ridiculous, and many people are sat over in that stand.
Yeah,
earlier.
that does compare
So-
well to the thousands in the BYOC not watching the NBC, you're right.
No, you can't fit all the people in there, that's the problem. They've got TV stationed all around the venue, powered by, I think that is Telia, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, with League of Legends being played, so various stations across the event where you can watch this game. But yeah, sure, I guess most aren't interested in esports, but I'd be surprised, I think.
Still the players having sound problems. I'm not sure really why. Let's just make sure the numbers haven't changed too much. Bit of delay.
I think there might be some sound issues. Noctis, maybe.
Admin just walking over to check what's going on. I guess we'll be starting soon. Ziv just going to reconnect again. We heard that yesterday from UFX that they had some issues with the audio on the communications, where Clock I don't think could hear Rafa in game for some reason. So maybe it's something similar going on here. Probably just doing a quick reboot.
Prediction for the final. Who's going to be in it?
The grand final.
We don't know how the playoffs are going to be seeded, I don't think.
Yeah, the playoffs are going to be random, but obviously the group winners will be against second place.
All right, just pick two teams then.
So I think in the final, say the semis, we can probably work to. The semis will be between. It depends who draws who, obviously, but Colwyn will make it there, I think. These are out the people that have already qualified, so there'll be 3. I think Dignitas have got a good chance. They look pretty good, and Metsu did look impressive, especially strengths. So I mean, that might leave 4 Kings out, but they did come second in their group, so potential of meeting Colwyn is obviously there. So yeah, I'm probably going to go for Metsu, Dignitas and Colwyn, and then in this group, I mean, we don't know the results yet, but it's going to be between Reason and, I'd imagine, Russia, Dendy Online.
Yeah, I think for the grand final, I'm predicting a Metsu Colwyn, assuming.
You think Metsu will reach the grand final?
Well, yeah, I think they're all playing very well, so Metsu Colwyn grand final. And I think if the maps go their way, they could maybe get to a 3-2, 3-1 position, but I think Colwyn overall are going to come out on top this event.
Right, so anyway, still waiting on Ziv. Let's go over the teams again. Frag 14, Blind, Night Ops and Night for action. We've got Faz, Noctis, Deuce and Ziv, who's going to reconnect. It's Run with Steel Rats, second map in the series. First map went to Reason Gaming, 132.85. That was deep inside. Run with Steel Rats. Of course, you spawn with the Gauntlet and the machine gun. It's got shotgun, grenade launcher, rocket launcher, lightning gun and plasma gun. The unique element of this map is no railgun.
Yeah, I mean, CPM4, I'm going to see a lot of LG CES. The team that successfully CESes LG the best will obviously get red armor. The other team then has to make a conscious decision as to whether to fall back and try and hold the yellows, but I think, as we all know, CPM4 and yellow armors is just, well, not always the right way to play the game, because if you go up against 4 LGs from quad time here on land and everyone hits 40%, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. So it's going to be all about this LG in red, and hopefully we're going to see action set up for quad early. Yeah,
it's an interesting quad on this map. It's the kind of quad you can hold down and lock down early. but you can also rush and steal right at the last second. You then get some exciting quad runs moving across the map, especially if the player does already have a lightning gun. And you see massive shifts in control when a quad goes well. You can take the lightning gun, you can take over the red, and then your team has a massive advantage on the unrushing opponents. They also can't rush in on a quad, so because they're delayed, they have to wait their turn. Wait for the quad to run down. So I think we'll be looking forward to the power-ups on this map. We'll have to see if aCtion can maybe do a better job on those attacks and holds. And we'll have to see if Reason are as consistent on power-up pickups as they were in the previous map. Still waiting on Ziv. This might delay the rounds a bit at this rate. But we don't really want them to start without having a good setup. I mean, if he's got sound issues. So that Ziv is rebooting. I think there's enough time anyway. If it's going to be a 2-0 map, then it's not actually going to overrun on the schedule. Schedule overruns tend to happen when we get a best 2-1 scoreline, which I think 4 Kings, Dignitas, the only game we covered that had one of those. Of course, we didn't do a very good job covering it, did we?
Wow. Well, Drew's now disconnecting. I'll tell you what, Disrepute, let's put some music on, keep the game in focus and let people watch everyone warm up, and we'll be back as soon as we see it's time to get started.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Apparently he had some peripheral issues. So they're just replacing them now for the second map. Let's just do a little pan of the whole. There you got the Russians. All the CS going on over there. Bin. Very nice bin right next to us. Okay, looks like they're coming back now, so just leave it. What's wrong with you?
No one wants to watch us, right?
Okay, they're getting back on the server anyway, so let's cut this music. Oh, what's this viewpoint? Yeah, I think it must have been their headsets or something, had some kind of issue.
Whilst we are getting ready to go, for those that aren't aware, we are streaming on the DreamHack Justin platform, so we're not in control of video on demand. We'll be controlled by Trans and the guys at DreamHack TV. I know some people are asking about VODs in RC.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, as NBC said, we don't really have access to our VODs that we're doing, but I'm sure they'll be cut fairly soon after the event, probably. I think they're all up automatically, though, right?
I would assume so. Yeah. I don't know how the channel set up. There's obviously many settings in Justin TV, which has worked flawlessly actually throughout this event. Just a couple of problems yesterday with the stream hopping, but for the most part, great.
Just waiting on Deuce to rejoin now. Right, so I guess everything seems to be sorted out now. Going to go live any second. So, DreamHack Summer 2011 Quake Live Team Deathmatch with me, Disrepute, and NVC from levelupyourgame.net. Action vs Reason. We're on to map 2 now, Realm of Steel Rats. Look at the teams quickly. Frag, Blind, Night Ops, and Knight. Faz, Noctis, Deuce, and Ziv. Faz getting the best spawn on the map for that red armor. Gets a shotgun as well. Goes up against Blind with the shotgun. Bam, too easy. Knight going down as well. And it looks like Reason got the best spawns, NVC.
Yeah, could not grumble with those spawns whatsoever. We've got another red coming up soon. I think Reason Gaming could potentially gamble before this next quad.
Great jump by Faz.
I don't think quad would mean everything in this first run, so if I was Faz, I'd wait for it and then move in.
Yeah, it's a relatively early quad.
Oh, where's he going?
Of course, the teams don't know when the quad will spawn. It's going to spawn in 3 seconds. It could spawn on 30 seconds to the end of the minute. Night Action seemed to be just standing on it. Only had grenades. It's going to get an LG. That, oh no! Hits the wall, blows himself up. And Deuce punishes him with that plasma gun.
I mean, I don't know how Faz didn't die there. I guess it was the red armor that saved him, but as I was saying, I thought Faz could have gambled and waited on that red armor, but then to drop down to LG and take a longer route, well, that was very unexpected.
Still with Juice, rocket launcher around this LG area. The key on this map is definitely timing that lightning gun and keeping control of the most powerful weapon on the map. Get a lot of frags with LG. Of course, rocket, you'd say, the most versatile weapon, but it's very hard with the kind of areas on Realm of Steel Rats to actually get frags with it. You see there, you just speculative rockets across the map against Deuce, potentially going up that bounce pad at the right time. And of course, he didn't. Deuce right on top of this red. He's going to have to wait 10 seconds though, so he drops off.
Yeah, I mean, sensible decision really. Drop off and come back for this red armor, although he's actually given it to one of his teammates.
Pretty commanding scoreline so far. 21-5. Night Ops is surely going to get taken out by Deuce's shotgun.
Yeah, well, I was telling everyone before we had the disconnects and so on and so forth that this was actually Reason Gaming's secret weapon in a recent tournament, pre-Summit ESL. Yeah, when they actually finally picked it up after eliminating it against the lower skill teams, they lost it to a fairly decent team of which I can't remember. But here against aCtion, seem to be doing just fine.
Well, Reason control that LG red armor position at the moment because aCtion have retreated to a quad defense that looks pretty solid. Frag does get knocked off though. He's going to cycle around quickly to their combat area. There's Noctis with the quad, LG in hand as well. Couldn't get more dangerous than the quad LG'er, but you get less dangerous without any ammo to use.
Yeah,
with his teammate dropping an LG.
Is. Looking at the clock, it's going to spawn around about 3 minutes and 3-4 seconds. So
he's run out of ammo and plasma as well. Hasn't even got a shotgun, but there you go, that machine gun. Talked about that before. That can be very dangerous with the quad. Blind going aggressive, shotgun in hand, smash into the face of Noctis, and now aCtion have a time on this lightning gun. This could maybe bring them back into the game. No Reason players were around, so they could speculate as to what kind of time it's at, but they won't know it accurately.
Yeah, and look at that. Bland's just dropped a LG to his teammate. Sorry, to one of the Reason Gaming players. Cannot be doing that here on CPM4.
Yeah, it's one of those mistakes that lots of players do often make. Running around with lower health and dropping powerful weapons to your opponents. Obviously, it's a hard call. Sometimes you think you can get the frag, but...
No, especially this map when the focus is LG. That was interesting to say the least. Faz there, an easy frag on tonight. And it's not too long before they have to start thinking about quad again.
Yeah, 40 seconds. I mean, this map you can set up fairly early, but you don't want to go too soon, because if you just leave that lightning gun and red armor position unpressured, then the other team's going to come hurtling in and do some serious damage to you. 20 seconds before quad, probably about the right time to start setting. That was Deuce, I think, taking the LG off Faz's hands. Faz hasn't really got any ammo. I'm going to switch round. Noctis moving in high here.
I mean, again, you know, Reason Gaming commanding that red armor, and they're going to have to be the ones pushing into quad, but did it successfully last time. I'm sure they'll be able to do it again.
1 second before quad. Where's Reason? They didn't show. Oh no! Knight blows himself up, pushed down by the LG. It was a rather later attack from Reason, maybe slightly mistimed on the quad, but it was successful in getting rid of that power up. Now, interestingly though, aCtion look a lot more solid on the power up setup this map than they did on the previous.
Well, yeah, certainly, but it's primarily because they're not being able to get in red armor, so the only option they have is to hold the yellow armor side of the map, which quite frankly includes the quad area because there's a yellow below it. They are automatically holding and securing quad throughout the game every time they get knocked out of red.
Following frag at the moment, just searching around for weapons, going to switch around and have a look at Blind here. Could be in a very good ambush position and to take the red armor. Wow, heavy shotgun on Noctis, finishes him off. He's got the shaft as well. But Ziv avenges his teammate's death with that plasma. He's also got red armor now. He's got a shotgun too to work with. Let's have a look at some of his stats. This map is also always important
I mean, that's what I like about this map out of other maps. I mean, I may not like the playstyle so much, but it has so much opportunity for movement. We saw Ziv there bouncing across with the plasma a minute ago and picking the flag onto Bland. It's just jumps like that that make this map unique. I hope these sort of movement styles.
Wow, nice plasma from Faz.
That have been implemented into other maps.
Yeah, definitely movement is a big aspect of Quake. It's quite different to most games out there in that regard. You can do lots of different trick jumps around maps to get to areas quicker or get to items.
Yeah, well, quad time is approaching. Watching Noctis as he comes in from the 25 bells. The jump.
Rocket jumps up, goes down instantly. And it is another quad for action. This time in Night Ops hands. Now, I said it before, they've got to do better on the power-ups. That's exactly what they're doing. And Reason, they've looked the team not quite as able on the power-ups this time. Although, Night Ops really needs to actually make use of this. Does get a frag on Faz, but he's looking pretty weak.
In my opinion, we should be running around with the plasma and switching to shotgun.
There you go, he heard you. You shouted it loud enough. And there's the quad run over, and Faz a bit of an easy kill from behind with that rocket launcher. Dives right into the rocket of Night. But it's a pretty significant score margin now.
Yeah, it'll be very tough to bring back. I mean, it's still not impossible, but they almost have red armor for the first time in the game, so the next spawn is in 13 seconds. Let's see if Reason Gaming make a push back in. We can see Noctis there, he'll be taken out. Night in action is actually going to fail the jump across, so it's going to be a little messy here. I thought they might have had it.
Yeah, well, they seem to have gone a bit more aggressive in recent minutes on this red LG. There, Frag does have a time on the LG now for action. Uses it very well. Oh my god, grenades from Noctis. Gets 2 frags essentially out of that.
Yeah, very nicely played. We've got one more red coming up. Then we have to start thinking about the quad. There's not one until after it. And hopefully none of the players forget, because occasionally, even in top level play, you can see teams mistime the quad because they're waiting for an item that spawns around about the same sort of second.
Following Ziv, but I mean, that plasma tore apart any chance he had of surviving his route to quad and maybe get the power up. Well, it's a pretty weak attack on quad again by Reason. They do a lot of damage, but they haven't actually, they're not winning the quads. And if we could see some better runs from action, they might close the gap. But
yeah, fast, they're picking up the quad kill with a grenade. Grenades seem to be working in Reason Gaming's favour at the moment.
Must have been boot camping it.
I think we've mentioned Reason Gaming and grenades previously. I think I've fanboyed them. We've got another red attack coming in here from Reason. It looks like they're going to regain control, and at the moment it just looks like they're better at red. And action, they're giving away way too many frags, but it's not really their fault.
Yeah, it just seems like Reason are really the better fighters in this lightning gun area.
Faz with that time on the LG again.
So important to get a time on the lightning gun. Weapons in Quake spawn every 30 seconds. Armor spawns every 25 seconds, and health, including the meg health, is every 35 seconds. Obviously, keeping track of all those items and times is pretty difficult, but if you can just keep track of the major ones, obviously quad is every 2 minutes, your team should be keeping an eye on that, but the lightning gun on this map, so important weapon, you can just call out the time it will next be up every time you pick it up. It's going to be a massive advantage that all your team will move into that zone at the same time and presumably get the lightning gun over and above the other team.
Yeah, but again, back to quad, here we come as Night Ops looks to prepare himself with only 17 HP. There's one more red up. I'm sure Reason Gaming are in position already. No, it's not being picked up, finally. So whoever that was only has 10 seconds now to get this. We see Ziv pushing with a machine gun. Night Ops with that plasma, trying to hold people back from stairs, but he's got to be careful not to drop a weapon. That could be very, very bad if a respawn gets it, but the quad was taken out straight away. Deuce, I think, picking up the frag. before going down himself, and let's see who gets in red if aCtion can do anything.
Again, aCtion there early, but the quad dies too soon. And yeah, it still shows that Reason are not capable of really moving in and taking control of the quad area.
Look at just Deucin, I think that was Faz just very cautious to get that bounce pad. They know people are everywhere, and it looks like they're going to be able to get an effect here, actually.
Right, so NBC, the game now, the frag difference is significant. Talking about a 50 frag margin. What can aCtion do to bring this back? Start bringing it back at least.
They need to get red, and they need to hold it well. You need to have the rockets, and they have to be well placed, and they have to get an LG time. But the thing is, as long as they do damage to the guy that gets LG and makes them fall back away from red armor, then I think that could give them an opening. Because I think if they try and start challenging for this LG, they're going up against already players with LGs in their hands. And
like Faz, controlling that mid-level there.
So
pushing any aCtion attackers away.
Yeah, if I was aCtion, I'd be looking to push in higher and just fire some rockets and grenades down, try and see if we can pick up some kills for free. Then maybe control the red armor, because these direct fights aren't going to work in their favour.
I think the big in is going to be on the quad damage. If aCtion can get a clean one and run all over the lightning gun red area and win it back for their team, that's going to be the opportunity.
Yeah, well, we're at 12-minute mark, and this is really my last opportunity, in my opinion, for them to
they really do need to do something very soon. Quad up in 5. Let's switch around to that area. Ziv is in there with the rockets. Frag takes it. 2 frags out of it, but Noctis eliminates that threat. Well, I mean, it still is interesting that Reason haven't really got a quad yet.
Yeah, even on the
missed
last
out
map.
practically every time.
Yeah. I mean, aCtion's play is so good on the quad. It's a shame they're not able to combine that with the red. You know, hold the red. I mean, the thing with aCtion's play is that they need to get to quad early, especially on this map. So they would be holding red, and they have to move out early, because Reason Gaming surely would be able to hold them off, as they did on Deep Inside.
Not seeing any power-ups on a map like this, though, for Reason Gaming. If they come up against another team who's able to punish them with those quads, they're going to be in trouble, I think. About a 60 frag difference here. In favour of Reason Gaming, we've still got just over 6 minutes on the clock left. There'll be 3 more quads. I mean, it's as good as impossible to bring back for aCtion now, this kind of difference. But with some amazing play and world-class legendary quad runs, you never know. You never know in VC.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to stay positive. But
or delusional.
It's hard, you know. I think everybody watching will probably agree Reason Gaming have this in the bag. So for both teams now, it's going to be about warming up for their next game. I think aCtion will also go. See, we've got quad coming up in 13 seconds on Ziv Pop at the moment. He doesn't have any armor to his name. You can see some rockets coming out, so he might consider changing direction, changing the teleport. But actually, looks like they're going to miss it.
They're going to miss the quad. It just seems sloppy on the power-ups by Reason, but yet they still take out the quad every time it's picked.
Maybe that's their game plan.
And Faz has especially done a lot of that. Well, it doesn't exactly seem like that. I mean, they are going towards it. They just turn up a little bit late. And to then eliminate the quad is a bit of a risk. I mean, if aCtion had a player with some armor and the right kind of weaponry, they could all get destroyed. But yeah, it could be their plan. Just a really bizarrely dangerous one.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. Just 5 minutes remaining now. Get some time on players we haven't seen so much of. Some Deuce time. I mean, I haven't really seen too much of Deuce. Let's get some Deuce on, see if we can fall.
Let's just cycle around through them a little bit, have a look at some of their accuracies. mind now. Bearing in mind these two teams didn't play yesterday. They didn't really have any warm-up. They've only got here this morning and kind of had to go in pretty cold. So it might not be as warmed up in their aim style as they might normally do.
There you go, 25 second squad. Let's see if action is set up as they always are, very, very early. See Deuce trying to get a
yeah, Deuce has done a good job here, taking away that yellow. He's done a bit of damage as well to the two action players, so they'll either have to retreat and try and help up, or they're going to be standing around the quad with lower health than they would have.
By FRG though. It looks like they may have this in the bag. We've got two players trying to come up the stairs. One may even try rocket jump up, I think. It was Knight in action picking it up.
There we go, another action quad. Quad damage does 3 times the damage of any weapon. So for example, if a rocket hit you directly, that's going to, instead of doing 100 damage, do 300 damage. I know it's a bit bizarre that it's called quad damage and it's not 4 times damage, but
It used to be 4.
it did used to be 4, but due to balancing the game, they reduced it to 3 times.
Try damage.
Wow, nice rocket across the map onto Faz. He did get the frag though before he died with the machine gun. And we've got 1 power-up remaining to spawn on this 20-minute round. And action, well, they're going to get over a century of frags, but they're going to be a long, long, long way off. And that might affect them going into their important clash against the Russian team. 80 frags, though.
For them, that's the game that really matters. They're going to have to win that game if they want to actually progress through to the playoffs.
Well, they would have to beat Most Wanted clan as well, of course, and that's not necessarily going to be an easy task. I mean, I guess you'd put them as favourites, but Most Wanted clan got a good set of players on them as well, playing the Russians at the moment. I think that's actually finished now.
Oh, I did have a air raid. That was a very good player. Kazstar. Here's Rocks. Yeah, I mean, I'm just to see them actually.
Yeah. Pretty decent Swedish lineup there as well. So, the final quad of this map. 10 seconds away, following Night Ops. Danish international player. He's got a shaft. And Reason finally do get a power up. It's in Faz's hand, but he's going to get... No, he isn't. Manages to survive, and now he's looking for their health. The 25 is up there. Maybe going to take the lower route and look for the 225s. Yep, they are up. Got to be careful he doesn't get ambushed at the corner. Well, Night Action standing on top of those health bubbles to just take them away from Faz as Faz did the damage to him. That's intelligent play, but of course it really doesn't matter now as Reason are over 200 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunate map here for action, but we all know Reason Gaming is really strong on CPM4, or sorry, Roma Steel Rats. Action's opportunity was clearly on Demon side then, but unfortunately over there, they weren't really able to get in the quad. I mean, they grabbed it, but they weren't able to go on any real runs. I guess same story on here, isn't it? Do you think that's because Reason Gaming is so good at denying it?
I think Reason Gaming's, what, denying the power-up?
Yeah, killing the quad.
Well, they do seem to be efficient at killing it, but it didn't exactly look like some kind of team maneuver doing it. It seemed to be Faz saving the day quite a lot of the time. And I would really not suggest that it's their tactic to kill the quad. So I think it's more down to the difference between the teams, and the play style of Reason is interesting because they're obviously all top-level players. Great accuracy, a great history in TDM, some of them, you know, Euro Cup winners in Faz and Deuce from back in the day when that was, you know, the big thing. Noctis and Ziev, the world's best 2 vs 2 team in Quake Live. So they've really got that team play down. I think the key really is that they don't seem to give away frags so easily. Some of the other top teams much more readily give away frags, I feel, than Reason Gaming. So that's probably going to be their advantage going further forwards. But that might just be that they're being a little bit cautious at the start of the day. They don't want to risk losing. I mean, they did win by, 100 frags odd there. So maybe it was quite a massive victory. I don't know, it just didn't feel the same, did it? It didn't feel like it was a humiliatingly large score, but...
Well, the strange thing is, when you play a team and beat them by 100 frags yet get no power-ups, it's always... Well, they got one, but it's always a strange sight. But yeah, that was the reason gaming up against aCtion. We'll be back very, very shortly with the next game, which is going to be Disrepute.
It's going to be aCtion versus Russia Dengi Online.
So the game that potentially decides who goes through second, assuming that most wanted clan. Well, actually, yeah.
We will do the Russia game.
It's hard to say, actually. I think all these games matter in this group, apart from Reason Gaming now.
It's a tough group, actually. I mean, I would say Reason are the strongest, along with the Russian